Okay, let's go again. 1784. Let's play. I've wanted to play a different variation of Sicilian, just for a laugh. Hoping I'm not going to get completely massacred. Let's play Najdorf and try a play position philosophy. You know, like Fischer. I think you have to play very sharply, or Geller, very, very sharply in Sicilian, otherwise you get massacred. Sometimes. Okay. So wfrouws. Aha. Alright, if I just pretend as I'm going to castle kingside, or actually castle kingside. If I play for queen c7 and or knight e5 and just get the other one b5 here, queen c7. He's going to slaughter me, isn't he, with g4, g5. I'm going to get the knights out of the way in time. So g4, knight e5, g5, knight d7, get the knight to c5. I think that's like short Sparrow style matches. When Nigel Short was playing Sparrow in the brain games. It was very exciting games. So I think in Sicilian you've got to pick up on finesses, otherwise you just get slaughtered basically. Not to be too negative about it, but okay. Can I risk playing b5 without knight b5? I think I'm going to dare it. I'm going to dare to play b5 here. I can get to play bishop b7. I'm hoping that a file is going to be useful if he does take. Okay, he gets a few pawns. If he lets me play b4, is it worth playing b4? I'm not sure about this bishop e2, where that fits in this position. Bishop e2. So I've got either knight b6 to c4 or knight e5 to c4. Either? What does it matter? Well, there's bishop b7 rook c8, or there's b4. There's a few options here. Now, I remember this Adams versus Kasparov game. I wonder how Kasparov got the attack. Did he play b4, knight c5? I can't remember. Here b4, knight c5 is possible. With g5 I can play the other one. Bishop b7 maybe, rook b8. Sack the b pawn. If I play knight c5 it stops knight a4 if that's any use. b4, knight a4. Do I not worry about that? Do I play knight c5 here and not worry? Well, there's knight, again this other plan, knight e5 to c4. I don't know. I can always play knight here to d7 to b6 to c4 later. So what about knight c5? Let's give that a shot. b4 is tempting. I don't know. If g5 is simplifying my choices, I don't think I go here, I think I go here. Then there's the question either knight e5 or knight b6 to c4, or even if that's a viable plan here to go to c4. What about just playing for b4? Something quick somehow on the queen side. But what possible ways are there of attacking the king? Do I need the rook on c8? If so, then bishop b7 might be useful. Maybe even castling into it. I think I do remember one Kasparov game where he castled into it, waited for all this pawn stuff, and got the bishop on this diagonal. I mean, that was it. So I'm going to castle. Or should I throw in b4 first? Actually, b4, doesn't that just win the knight? Here, because there's no knight a4. Because bishop is wrong there, isn't it? I'll play that. Where's the knight going? That's a bit embarrassing, king b1. Took away the final knight square. I've taken away a square already with knight c5. He took away another one. All of a sudden there's no squares.
I don't think knight b5 is any good. I just take and queen a5. So if he takes on d6 to a check, I just take it and take on a2, queen a1 mate. He's going for that anyway. I don't believe it. I think just queen a5. Blimey. Well, queen a5. No, he's going to take on b5. I can just castle here, surely. If knight b5, maybe queen b8 to hold on to d6. Okay, so queen b8 or queen b6. Queen b6 is a bit of a pin. So queen b8, I think, and there's rook a4 to look forward to. I guess there's queen a5, but I don't want to lose d6. Queen b6 has the advantage actually of d5, sort of. But if I'm going to play rook a4 anyway soon, there's e5, there's knight d5. Rook d5 takes ed. Is that winning a piece? There might be rook a. No. Maybe rook a4 there to the rescue. Ah, okay. It's sharp. This e5 is pretty dangerous. So there's a few questions here. Queen b6, queen a5. Do I let him play for that other line? So queen b8, say e5, knight d5, rook d5, ed, e takes d6. What about just knight a6 there, attacking the queen? Okay, there's a solution. So I'm guarding against knight takes d6. I've got rook a4 on the cards. So rook a4, queen, okay, queen c3, I think rook a4 looks good to get the queen out of there. Also put pressure on a2. But that bishop b7, maybe knight takes e4 is a bit thematic. For bishop e4, king moves could be dangerous for knight b3s. So smashing white's centre with knight e4 looks tempting. That will get the bishop in the game as well on e4. Can always win h1 as well as attack the king. So bishop b7, g5, maybe knight e4. Well, he's on d6 as well. Play it anyway. Knight d6 takes queen. Queen d6, queen d6, knight e4 takes. Bishop e4 is taking on h1. h1 will be liable if the rook's over there. Mind you, c5 rook. Mind you, king h1, knight b3, king c1, knight b3, mating, rook a1. Or winning the queen. If the queen was on d6, then this idea. So knight d6, knight e4 takes, knight e4 takes, check. No. No. Okay. Knight e4 actually attacks the queen and protects the knight on c5. Maybe that's the key thing. So if he takes, king c1. Okay, I have to work it out now for real. So he's on the c5 knight. Bishop d6, queen d6. What about knight c5 takes e4 there? So taking actually first, then knight e4 is simple. Actually, that gets rid of the knight as a vulnerability. It attacks the rook. I'll just go for that. So knight c takes e4. So I've got this fork idea. I'm attacking the rook. Where does the rook go?
where does that rook go? So it goes to d3. Ooh. Okay, I'll tuck the bishop over. This is a played position type scenario, still very sharp. No strategy, just tactics all the way. I had a nice Sicilian win once against Rxd6 2370 Lloyds Bank Masters around, I think, 1992, when I had a really good Lloyds Bank Masters. I was very, very tactical back then. Well, some people say I'm still quite tactical, but yeah, some of those I gave up the Sveshnikov because of the d5. These big knights on d5 all the time got a bit boring to play. It seemed a bit grovelly. So anyway, knight d7. Okay, that knight is getting to be a problem now for being like hung here. There's no knight c3 or anything. There's rook a3, attacking the rook. It takes knight c3, takes on e2. Rook a3, what an absurd move. But actually quite useful in the circumstances. I think I might actually use it. But is the other knight going to get stranded on e2 after? If I play rook a3. Not too many choices with that knight anyway. So the other one gets stranded. I play bishop f3. Okay, that's a good move tactically. So bishop c1 though, my fingers are still in pre. That's just getting worse, aren't I? So bishop c1, everything's in pre. Laying the check, okay. Get this bishop on e2, try and win f3. So f3 is that hanging? Rook d2, there's rook, bishop takes f3 to rescue the knight. Although I was reading in Bronstein's book, The Sorcerer's Apprentice, it wasn't him that said it, it was a reviewer of one of his games, talking about foxes and hedgehogs. Where basically the foxes are adventurous and curious, and they're like the tactical players, and the hedgehogs are the more positional players, I believe. So it kind of relates to that thing I was going on about recently: strategic crush versus playing the position. I have to be a fox here, but I don't know if that knight looks to be stranded, unfortunately. So knight d7, is the knight actually getting rescued here or not? Knight d7, attacking the rook. The rook moves. Bishop c6. And if I get a knight to e5, then. Well, there's rook c8. No. Is knight d7 the first of a good move here to rescue the situation? With that knight. g5 doesn't work. Takes knight d4. Rook d8 probably doesn't work, back row issues. So I'll go with knight d7 to play knight e5. If rook f2, there'll still be bishop takes f3. Alright, let's try that. What about there's a simple move here, just e5. Why hasn't that occurred to me? E5, just to play knight d4. I don't have to use pyrotechnics here. Rook b5, e5. Now I've fluffed that up. Oh dear, there's rook d6. What a fluff up. I could have just played e5, rescuing the knight. Oh dear. It's knight e5 and now it's chaos. Rook d2 is knight c4. Unnecessary chaos ensues now. Great. So rook d6 is annoying. Knight e5. Start to swallow the knight. Unless knight c4 to the rescue. I can play e5 now. Bishop c6. I think e5 while I still can. Also there's knight f4, maybe that's better than knight d4. Bishop c6, rook a5. Anything tactical going on there? There's bishop a4, there's rook b8. Bishop a4, of course you can take. I'm just making notes of forcing moves here for tactical vulnerabilities, if I can find any. Okay, so bishop c6 might be useful just to protect the knight here. Rook a5 comes into the 7th rank potentially, but that takes another move. So I'll play this. Actually, there's bishop a4 there. If he doesn't play rook a5, bishop a4 is going to be handy. Okay. There's also bishop f3 on the cards. What about rook a8, just supporting bishop a4? So rook d2, maybe knight f4 there. I think that's good. So there's bishop. Oh dear, what am I doing? Hang on a sec. There's rook d6. Oh dear. What have I done? I'm getting overloaded. The back row's getting overloaded. I really have to make space for the king, because these back row tactics are getting a bit too scary. If rook d7 was possible there, or the rook, it is going to be possible. Rook a6, so rook c8. The knight's on b8 at the moment. I need to play something like f6, get the king into the game, give the king f7. So he's down to 4 minutes now. Exciting. So rook d6, rook c8. And by the way, Hastings games is quite interesting to check out. Might do another video on that. Maybe being bored than last time. It's hotting up. Okay. Knight d4 takes, rook d4, knight c5 after. What about just f6 here now? Isn't f6 just logical to get rid of a few tactical vulnerabilities? Get the king in maybe to e6, that would support things, stop rook d6 anyway. Okay. So rook, I'm hoping rook c8 is going to be okay. No major issue there. I'm going to try and chase this guy with king f7 to e7. That will protect d7. So bishop f3 will be made possible. What other interesting things are going on here? Nothing much, I think. This bishop's just everything's too responsible at the moment to do anything interesting. Bishop is tied down to d7. I'm going to unload the responsibilities. King f7 to e7. Bishop free to do stuff. Okay, he's coming into time pressure. Is A pawn, is that going to be really dangerous? I'm hoping not. Get the king in. Now I'm free for bishop f3 if I want. This A pawn's dangerous. I don't know what else though. I think I should play bishop f3. Then there might be knight c5 after. Bishop f3, a6, knight c5 takes, a7. It's getting terminal, threatening rook e2, rook a5 there. Check. Might have perpetual checks. Can I do better? If I play knight d4 to sack a pawn, takes knight c5. That does blockade against a6 straight off the bat. And then I could take on f3. So the immediate, I don't really want a6, a7, even if it looks as though it's plausible. Takes a6. So there's knight c5, for example, would be a disaster because a7 is like queening. So I can just sack a pawn here for a bit of time, otherwise check will win the pawn. I think I'll do that. Time to sack a pawn. Get that knight c5 in. Okay, so I'm stopping a6. Is bishop f3 worth checking out? There's other tactical things going on here. I think I will play bishop f3. I can't see too much wrong with that here. Famous last words. There's no rook b7. a6 to distract the knight. There's again bishops on b7 anyway. So that's a neat knight. If I can get to play g6 f5, then bishop e4, then knight d3 maybe. Okay, he's not threatening anything immediately, is he? So g6 and f5, or it's got rook d5, rook d3. No. I think I can safely play g6 and f5. g6, king e6. This is okay. This is a bit overloaded on c5 now. Knight a4. Okay, I think g6 f5. Let's go for it. So if I get in bishop e4, the bishop supported. Okay. Put the bishop out of the way here for a sec. Bishop e4 and f5, still stopping rook b7s. Still on bishop on diagonal to stop any stuff. King e6 first, I think that was rook b6. What about g5? If rook f2, there's knight e4 now. Okay. Alright, it's a waiting move, throwing a waiting move. He's in time pressure. Might find that annoying. He's got a check if he wants it. Right, do I put the king away for a sec? I'm still on g4. Go on to g2. Yes, what about pass pawn scenario? Play h5 here. I think I'll do that. Just try and, although this pawn could be dangerous, but I want my pawn to be dangerous. I've got to liberate these pawns. So f5, f4. Aha, he's not letting me do that, and he's threatening To win material, okay. I'm throwing a check here. There's no rook b7, but there's rook b6. Is this check at all useful? Bishop f1, tactical move. For c4. But I'll take on g4 first, I think. To avoid g takes h as a possibility. Now bishop here. Well, am I getting mated because of rook b7? That would be embarrassing. This bishop c4 is going to double up rooks. What about king f8 then for bishop c4? Okay, I'll do that. That stops getting mated or the perpetual checks on the 7th rank. And win c4. Rook e7, bishop c4. Bishop, rook h7, bishop g8. Well, let's check anyway. So I'm on c4. So this is becoming ultra critical now. Alright, I'll take this. Right. So the knight. Don't know. I'm tied down here. 2 minute 44. I can take another pawn. It takes there. I can take on e7. So I'll take another pawn. Let's check as well. So he's threatening mates. No, he's not. I've got bishop g8. Okay, so I'll throw in a check. This knight's in trouble though. I'll attack this guy. But now this, I've got to protect with rook c6 thingy. Oh, I don't know what's happening here. What about knight c5 just to get this knight doing something? 22 seconds. So if I don't get mated, I could have a chance of winning this game. Play check, knight d6 for knight b5. That looks good, threatening family fork. Every single piece. So knight b5. Knight b5. Rook b7. Throw another check for a sec. Oh, that's dangerous, yeah. If I mess this up, messing this up. So not panicking is a good idea. Bishop d5 potentially. But his pawn is too dangerous. What have I done again? I've given him a winning pass pawn, haven't I? Okay, just about. Okay. Blimey. Yeah, that was an intense game. Going down the wire there on the time. I thought it was very tactical. I think the most tactical move I played here was to rescue the knight. Rook a3. But bishop c1, I don't know what I'm doing after that. So I don't think it's that sound. Bishop c1. Yeah, let me get away with that. I seem to be with the chances, as long as his pawns weren't not getting too dangerous. But then my king was almost getting in big trouble, and then the pawn did get dangerous again. Anyway, exciting game. Hope you enjoyed it. Comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks so much.